And welcome in, everybody. Judgmental TV, our continuing coverage of the KBO. Our Hanwha Eagles are officially at the halfway point of the season, sitting with a 40-30-3 record. It's a .571 winning percentage, and they are a half game back of the Kia Tigers, and we are currently sitting in second place in the KBO. And don't forget, everybody, we live stream these Eagles every Tuesday. Right now we have it scheduled for 5:30 in the afternoon. We'll go for about 3 hours in the evening. Sometimes it is 1:30 in the afternoon, but we'll put the schedule up if we change it. Here you see the main screen. You can get a quick look at the lineup, starting rotation, and the bullpen. If you're looking at those pitching numbers, and we'll get into them in a little more detail in a moment, but what you see on the screen is outstanding. It's the number 3 starting rotation in the KBO, the number 1 bullpen in the KBO. They are number 1 in runs against. So the pitching has been very good. Rue leads the way, 10-1 with a 1.59 ERA. Felipe Vera, 8-2 with a 2.53. In the bullpen, the closer Joe, 15 saves, a 3.12 earned run average. Not leading the KBO in saves or anything like that, but when you have Kim and Erla who are having outstanding seasons, they're able to pick up a save. So Joe doesn't have to go out and pitch when he is not rested, and because of that, there's probably about 5, maybe 6 saves between Kim, Erla, and maybe some other folks out there as well. Kim and Erla, the right-handed side of the setup, combined for a 5-1 and we'll say a 2.06 ERA between the two of them. We've got Jung, the left-hander, setting up 1-1, a 2.00 ERA. And then Park, who was our setup guy last year, he is doing a great job in a middle relief role, coming in and doing great things in the 6th, 7th inning. 2-2, 1.61. To look a little deeper into this bullpen, then you've got Kim and Kim are 2 other lefties. Bumso Kim, the specialist, that's what we consider him, 25 2/3, a 0.00 earned run average. I can't believe I said that out loud, because you know that's going to end as soon as I play the next game, now that I point that out. Kai Jung Kim, the other left-hander, not having a great season. He's got just 11 1/3 innings pitched, but a 6.35 ERA. And that's an area we might be looking to make a change. We'll just have to see what we've got. But Kim's done well last season for us. The long relievers are Han and Kim, 2 right-handers. Min Woo Kim just called up recently for the injured Jang. Han's been with the team all season, 3.67 ERA. He's doing a really solid job in long relief. On the offense side of things, not a lot of power in this team. You see, Noh's got 20 home runs. The next person there is Che with 8. He's hit a few lately. Beyond that, it's just 2s and 3s. So not a ton of power. So on-base percentage is very important for this team. So getting guys on, stealing bases, and putting Noh in a position, Noh and Moon really, to get a chance to drive in some runs. And that's really how this team went through that red-hot May and early June, where they came from about 5th place and actually spent a few days in 1st place. And the offense was carried really by the fact that we have these 3 guys. Actually, well, you want to include Ha in this too, because he's got 12 steals. But we've got these 3 guys, 47 steals for Kim, 29 steals for Jung at second base, and Moon, 25 steals in left field. Overall numbers on the offense, though, you do see it's a 7th in runs scored, 9th in batting average, 6th in on-base percentage. OPS is 9th. Batting WAR is 3rd, but that's a big part of that is going to be Noh at 3rd base. And while we're talking about Noh, let's look at this. Last year's MVP making a push at the halfway mark that if the season ended today, I don't know who else is MVP of this league. Noh is leading the league in batting average, on base plus slugging, isolated power, home runs, batter WAR, OPS plus, runs batted in, total bases, slugging percentage, and extra base hits. And there's some other stuff on here that I probably missed. Weighted OBA. So this guy is dominating this league. And it's a strength and it's also a weakness of this team in a sense, because he is so good in the middle of this lineup. But right now there isn't really another big bat in the lineup. There are some good bats, but there's not another great bat. So when Noh has a great day, the team is great. When guys can get on and steal some bases, that takes a little bit of the pressure off Noh, but it is a lot to ask of one guy to carry this offense. So if you're talking about the trade deadline, which comes up at the end of the month, maybe we're looking for a bat. So we just completed the month of June. And there you can see there's a lot of green at the beginning. It got a little more red towards the end. We had a couple of ties in here as well. Bring up the team stats, and you'll see in the month of June, actually one tie, 14-9-1. So 18-9 in May, followed up by 14-9-1 in June. So the last 2 months have been outstanding, and the team has gone from, I believe, 5th place to now we're in second by a half game and spent about a week or two in first place in the KBO. There you can see the team went 10-2 in the first 2 weeks. And then you're looking at 4-7-1 for the last roughly 2 weeks of the month. And looking ahead to July, in about 2.5 weeks, you have that week break for what I thought was the All-Star break last year, but we didn't actually have an All-Star game. So we'll see if there is one this year on the schedule. I don't know. But there is that break there. Then you get back into playing on the 25th against KT, and the end of the month is the trade deadline. And right now you can see this is the trading block. There's not a lot available at the moment. There is one catcher that would improve us, but any players that I look at that are currently on this list, when I go to see what they would be interested in on our team, it always comes down to Kim, the center fielder, Noh, the third baseman, or maybe Rue, basically the untouchable players on our team. Areas where we may be looking to improve coming up at the end of the month before the trade deadline hits us. I hate to say this, but Joe Suka, our really dependable shortstop, ever since that injury, has just not hit the ball very well. Defense is starting to suffer a little bit as well. So we don't really have anything ready to go in the minor league system. We have a bunch of middle infielders, but none of them are ready to play right now. So there's no help at shortstop coming up through the organization. Catching position is an area where we're really strong defensively. Offensively, we're not so great. So that is an area where we could look to improve. And like I said, there is a good catcher that's on the trading block, but it would cost us Noh, Moon, Rue, or Kim, our center fielder. And those 4 guys are centerpieces of our team. And here we can look at an email that we got from the owner for the halfway mark. He's happy with the team record. He is not happy about first base. We have not upgraded that position. An has been playing first base most of the season. When he's hitting the ball well, that seems to be fine. Right now he's not hitting, so they're saying they're not happy with that situation. Attendance is increased. It is up, averaging, our home attendance is averaging over 7,200 people a game, which is up a few thousand people from last year. The farm system, the next 2 will say you build your farm and improve your draft record. Well, we've only had 1 draft, and last year's draft had almost 0 players in it. We had the second pick in a draft, and we did the best we could the rest of the way. Improved fan interest currently is a 71, was a 61. That's a half a season. I like that improvement. Maybe he doesn't, but I like that improvement. And here you can get another look at the team goals that were set. Reaching the playoffs, seem to be on the way to that. On, as we said, struggling at the plate. 72.41 is our average attendance for a home game. This is the draft pool for this season. We're continuing to scout players. We have decent scouting reports on most players, as you can see here, but we do have a few left here at the bottom of the pool that are still considered very low, but we'll have those all scouted, and then we'll start zooming in on particular guys we want. This is a very deep draft. This is a reason to continue playing this thing, because there are a lot of high potential players on here. There are a few guys that could probably jump right in and play. So we're really excited about this draft that comes up at the end of August. I don't know that we'll get any players that will help us this year, but this should go a long way into helping the organization and also just helping the league. There's a lot of talent in this draft. So there should be some new exciting players jumping into this league with this draft. And one final note before we wrap things up. As we sit here in real time, we are about a month away, less than a month away from the release of OOTP 26. So how does that affect this season? Well, we're going to keep flying through this thing. We are halfway through the season. The idea here will be to wrap this thing up before the release of 26, because one thing we don't want to do, that mistake I've made in the past, honestly, is I've transferred a season to a new game in the middle of a season, and apparently that's not recommended. It's recommended that you transfer during the off season. It causes less issues with the game. So we want to get this thing wrapped up before the release of Out of the Park 26, and I think we can make that happen. Then we can look to continue this thing in Out of the Park 26 with all the new features that that'll have. Plus, we're kicking around some ideas for some new saves as well. But we will continue. There will be a third season of Hanwha Eagles baseball. All right, so to wrap things up, we're happy. We're a half game out of first place behind Kia. Offensively, we're struggling a bit, but Noh is pushing for his back-to-back MVPs. Hyunjin Ryu, 10-1 with a 1.59 ERA. He is pushing for whatever the equivalent of the KBO Cy Young Award would be. There is a pitcher, Quarter, who has a slightly lower ERA, but I think when you look at the overall stats, Ryu has the advantage on him. So he's the front runner for that. So starting rotation, settling in, bullpen doing a great job. When we get to the end of this month, hopefully we found a right-handed bat, whether that bat is a designated hitter, a first baseman. Maybe we pick up a defensive shortstop to shore things up in the middle of the infield. Maybe there's a catcher out there that we get that can give us a little more offense. We'll see. But 40, 30, and 3, a half game out behind the Kia Tigers. We'll take that. So thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video, as it does push it out to more folks. Judgmental TV. Don't forget about the live streams on Twitch as well. So thank you for hanging out with us. We will be coming at you very soon with the second half of this season.